sitting here getting ready for tomorrow's TNA show in Glasgow, I thought I would actually do a video, and I know I wasn't going to do a video, and I've put up a couple of videos this week, but about a couple of bits about reports and rumours that are going on in wrestling. I don't normally talk about rumours and various reports, to be honest, mostly because a lot of them turn out to be complete and utter rubbish. Completely false, or it's false or misreporting, things that don't actually turn out to happen. One report, though, that does seem to have happened is the situation with CM Punk. Now, it's been reported that CM Punk told Vince McMahon that he was going home, flew back to Chicago from Cleveland, where they were doing Raw. Obviously, he was not at the SmackDown tapings, and 2 days ago he did thank the fans on Twitter for their support. WWE has removed Punk's name from all upcoming events advertising. Is this storyline or is this legitimate? A lot of people are obviously already talking about this on social media. If it is storyline, I would be interested to see where it goes. If it is legitimate, which I think it possibly is, I would understand that. People seem to forget, that the WWE schedule is one of the most punishing schedules in wrestling. 3 years ago, almost, July 2011, CM Punk was being absolutely honest. He told his friends, he told interviews, it was reported everywhere that CM Punk wanted to take time off from the WWE. Apart from the couple of weeks after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on July the 17th, he really didn't get it. On that pay-per-view, he defeated John Cena for the WWE title. Obviously, the famous fridge photograph. He then held the title for 434 days, and even when he lost the title to The Rock at the Royal Rumble, I think it was, he continued to work. So he never has had that opportunity to take a break. He's been reportedly suffering from various injuries and obviously the punishment on his body. Unhappy also with the direction of the company and his character. So this may be a legitimate thing that he has decided to go home, or he legitimately needs to go home and rest and take some time off. Obviously, he has also got the pressures of being one of the biggest superstars in the WWE as of this moment. Now, this is obviously being compared to the Steve Austin incident, where a lot of people say, Steve Austin took his ball and went home. Steve Austin, on the Steve Austin podcast, has of course said that many times actually, that is the one thing he regrets. Obviously, it's a slightly different situation. To be honest, I don't blame Steve Austin for that either. Obviously a lot of fans were unhappy with it, but once the situation was really explained, I can perfectly understand why Steve Austin did it. He was going through a lot of pressures at that time. His marriage was breaking down. He had the pressures also at that time of him being one of the biggest superstars in the WWE. Also, the doctors were at the point where they were telling him he needs, not possibly, but he really needs to retire. His body can't take it anymore. There's a lot of personal stuff, a lot of pressures going on for Steve Austin, and similar sort of pressures for CM Punk. So if Punk needs this time off legitimately, I say give it to him. I know it's crappy timing. I know it's horrible timing. We're on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania 30 is coming up on April the 6th. He's one of the big guys that people buy pay-per-views and event tickets and that to go and see. I understand that. But if he legitimately needs this rest, he legitimately needs this time off, I say give it to him. We saw what happened with Steve Austin. That was not just a temporary thing where he went home for a few months and it was okay. Watch the Mania of WrestleMania film on the WrestleMania 20 DVD box set. Austin ended up in hospital the night before WrestleMania 19, his final match. He spent the whole night in hospital. Just watch the documentary, you'll see how scared he was. His health was in jeopardy. And I do not want to see something similar happen to CM Punk. It's not worth it in the end. So, if you just legitimately need this time off, I say give it to him, even if he misses WrestleMania, even if he misses all these international tours. If it's best for CM Punk, I think that if it helps him, and if it helps maintain his health, etc., I think he needs to give it to him. Now, also, of course, being reported, Sting going to WWE. I've been a fan of the icon Sting, and I will use that name. There are many people, as Jim Cornette once famously said, that call themselves icon, that don't deserve it. But one of the people who do deserve it is Sting. He has been wrestling since 1985, so almost 30 years. We're coming up nigh on 30 years for him wrestling. And he has never worked for the WWE. I think he was under contract to AOL, Time Warner, whoever was owned WCW when it was sold to WWE. They were the ones paying him the money of the contract. It was a thing that WCW did for their major stars like Hogan and Goldberg and they're big stars, even like Diamond Dallas Page, I believe, when WCW finished. It wasn't actually WCW, the company, that were paying them the salary. It was coming from the parent company. So Sting really hasn't technically worked for WWE ever. He's never certainly wrestled for them. Today's reports have been coming over for many years now, even some fantastic, I have to say, there are some fantastic arts and graphic things that have been made suggesting Sting in WWE. There's one great thing with I think it's Sting with holding up a playing card with the Undertaker on it. It's real up close to your face. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. There's some great things. It's always been rumoured for the last few years that Sting has been going to WWE. It's even been reported for the last several years as well. Confirmed WWE have signed Sting. Obviously, it turned out not to be true, and even I've seen reports that WWE have called a press conference tomorrow, say at 4 PM. They will unveil Sting as their new signing. Watch for this space for tomorrow at 4 PM, and we will show you the press conference. And obviously, it turned out to be false. He didn't actually sign with WWE. If he does sign with WWE, I'd love it to be like a Legends deal. Perhaps a DVD box set. To be honest, you've got to question whether DVD sales will be hurt by the WWE network, because we've got all this content. Instead of buying the box set, we can just go, okay, that's on the DVD. Raw is War 99, 5th of May. Look it up and watch it, and watch that. See DX versus LOD and whatever event, whatever the event is, the people involved. So obviously, perhaps the WWE network will harm DVD sales, but I'd love to see a Sting box set, a documentary about him with various matches during his time in NWA, WCW, perhaps even a Legends deal that allows him, the likes of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, or Tatanka, or very many of these various guys like X-Pac, to go around the world and different countries like here in Scotland, and perhaps even meet the fans that have supported him for many years, that they've never had the chance to see him in person. So that would be something. A deal like that would be good, even if it isn't a full WWE wrestling contract. Something like that I think would be good. But as I said, will Sting be in the WWE? I'd say wait a couple of months, and then obviously we'll get the answer. Now, obviously WWE Hall of Fame, the second inductee was announced as Jake the Snake Roberts this past Monday night on Raw. Obviously everybody also expected Jake to be in the Royal Rumble. Now, Bill Apter, wrestling's #1 journalist, to be honest, let's face it, he is, and I've said it several times when talking about Bill Apter, he's been in the business for so long, he knows everybody, and obviously he knows Jake Snake Roberts. He talked to Jake on the phone, and asked Jake, okay, why weren't, any idea why we weren't in the Rumble? And Jake replied simply, they didn't call. they didn't contact me to be in the Royal Rumble. So it's like, when I hate to bring this up again. It's like, see, when a company decides to get rid of you, there's nothing. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. If the bosses decide one thing, then normally there is just nothing you can do about it. So the WWE decide not to contact Jake Roberts. There's nothing you can do about it. He could have phoned them 50 odd times, 100 times, 300 times. But if they choose not to include him, he's not included. They did, however, phone him about something. Obviously, at one point they either phoned him or emailed him or met with him. But he is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2014. Obviously, a guy who's had his problems, but when you're talking about his wrestling career, one of the best. A world famous booker, booked some of the great stuff in the WWE in the mid 1990s. Absolutely great talent in the ring. Congratulations to him. He is a great talent. I'm really happy to see him in the WWE Hall of Fame. Obviously, we'll get a couple more announcements. Obviously, the Ultimate Warrior was the first announcement. I would consider Paul Bearer to be inducted into the 2014 Hall of Fame class a definite. It was reported shortly after he passed away, William Moody, who was his real name, that he would be inducted in the 2014 Hall of Fame class. So I hope that he's the next one announced. I watched on WWE.com several of the tribute videos to him before doing this video, and I have to say he definitely well deserves it. And I was also actually listening to the shoot interview. It goes nearly 3 hours between that features Paul Bearer and Jim Cornette. It's a great one. It's on YouTube. You search out for it on your own. It's P Dizzle or something. It's under some unusual name, but it's a shoot interview with Paul Bearer and Jim Cornette. It's a really good one. I honestly think Paul Bearer absolutely deserves, and I think will be in the class of 2014 the WWE Hall of Fame. It makes you question, that's a few related people: Ultimate Warrior, Jake Snake Roberts, Paul Bearer. Who's going to be in this year's Hall of Fame? Hopefully, there'll be a few good names. Also, rumours that they'll induct an actual match. That match perhaps being the very first WrestleMania main event, which is of course Mr. T and Hulk Hogan against Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. I don't know. I don't know whether that would be any decent, inducting a match into the WWE Hall of Fame. Perhaps some of the separate, WWE matches Hall of Fame kind of unofficial thing, rather than having it on the Hall of Fame ceremony kind of thing. I think would be better. But also again, it's up to WWE. It's when WWE decides to do something. A lot of people don't have the power. Sometimes you just don't have the power to change that decision. Now, as I said, finally, I'm going to the TNA show tomorrow in Glasgow. The Investor is supposed to be announced yet. I can't guarantee that I will see that announcement because it looks like I may, depending on what the timings is for the show, I may end up having to leave early because I've got the bus about 11 to go back home to Dundee. It's about the last bus, I think it is. I think it is pretty much actually the last bus that we can get to go home. So I may have to miss the end of the show, which is a really annoying thing. And I know a lot of people are down on TNA right now. A lot of people are saying it's horrible and all that kind of thing and everything that's going on there. But to be honest, it was a Christmas present. The ticket was a Christmas present, so I'm just going to relax, enjoy it. It's my first major American company wrestling show. I know some people might say it's not even a major wrestling company because it's TNA, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing this. Just to see who's there. I know it's Abyss and Eric Young against the Bros or something. The Bromans on the show, or at least one match has been announced. I'm just going to go there, relax, enjoy it, take it for what it is, relax, enjoy the experience of going to the Hydro in Glasgow tomorrow for the show. Just relax, enjoy it, and see what happens on the show. And like I said, if I have to leave early, I have to leave early. But it's just annoying, just a bit of a nightmare. And they call it a 24/7 life in the UK, but I don't think it really is. A lot of the public transport, if you're outside the UK, a lot of the public transport, it ends like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, it just vanishes. So it's not really the genuine 24/7 culture that some places, and I mean, I was in, I said, like you see my trip around New York video that I put up a few days ago. I was in like Times Square in New York, like back 12, 1 o'clock, half 1 to about 2 o'clock in the morning, midweek, and it was absolutely packed. It was like a city centre. I know it's a city centre, but it was like a city centre in the UK during the day. It was absolutely packed. No, it really, really was. Like every single person in New York, say, or New York area, had gone to Times Square. It was absolutely packed. Like I said, I'm saying that there was half 1, 2 o'clock in the morning about that time, and you know, we managed to get the subway back to near our hotel, which is an amazing experience. That's going to New York, obviously, but I think, like I said, the TNA show, I'm just going to relax. Take it for what it is. I've been to many wrestling shows, like Scottish Wrestling Entertainment, and you know, watched obviously a lot of the TV stuff, and watched pro wrestling for over 30 years, so I'm just going to take it as it is, experience for what it is, sit, relax, enjoy myself. I think that's what some fans need to do. Some of these shows like TNA, relax, enjoy it for what it is, a wrestling show. And to be honest, some of the, I'll talk about it in another video, but to be honest, that's all I'm going to do, is just to sit back, relax, enjoy it for what it is, and enjoy the experience of going to an Impact Wrestling show. It is going to be the first live Impact Wrestling show that would be broadcast on Challenge TV. I think it's channel 145 or something. I'll check your different providers. It's on at 9 PM tomorrow. I don't know exactly the timings I said for the show, but I'm going to enjoy it. Hopefully get a chance to see a few of the guys wrestle that I want to see. I said they're in Dublin today, and they're doing a show in Dublin probably right now as I record this, because I'm recording this just after 7. Now it is just after 7 PM. So I want to relax, enjoy it as a wrestling fan. Go there, enjoy it for the experience that it is. And to be honest, if you can't do that at a wrestling show, then why? You know, if you can't do that as a wrestling show, as a wrestling fan, if you can't just go to a wrestling show and enjoy it for what it is, I think you really need to take a bit of a look at why you actually attend wrestling shows.